Hey moviegoers, Dimitri Panos here with another episode of the Cinescope, movies under a new lens. And in this episode, I will be putting the movie Black Phone 2 under the Cinescope. Narratively and thematically, Black Phone 2 is an exceptional sequel. Darker in tone, co-writer, director Scott Derrickson channels 70s, 80s gritty horror. Think Tobe Hooper and, more to the point, Wes Craven. The movie is a horrifying homage to not only the time period, but to the iconic Nightmare on Elm Street director. The story picks up 4 years after Finney killed and escaped from serial killer the Grabber. Now, 17 years old, Finn is still haunted by those events. The phone has never stopped ringing. He no longer has the capacity to help those on the other end. But now Gwen, Finn's younger sister, also hears the call, and when she answers, she hears her mother on the other end of the line. Her mother who died of suicide years ago. She's calling from the past, from a Christian winter camp called Alpine Lake. She talks of 3 missing boys, campers who now become the center of Gwen's nightmares, new visions of their brutal murders. Determined to solve the mystery, she persuades Finn to join her in going to Alpine Lake to confront their family's past and each's personal demons, of which either may never be the same or come back alive. There's so much going on in Black Phone 2. Some of it is subtle, some of it not so much. The first movie was claustrophobic. Most of the setting was in a basement. Director Scott Derrickson used the space and the black phone to his advantage. Mason Thames' performance was stellar, pretty much a one-man show. He had to act and react to ghosts and stand toe-to-toe with Ethan Hawke's The Grabber. Madeline McGraw also stood out. Gwen was the unsung hero of the movie with a colorful vocabulary, and she had a vision. I think it's safe to say the first movie is a Finn movie. Well, Black Phone 2 is a Finn and Gwen story, or stories. Their conflicts intertwine. It becomes a family affair. It's 2 coming-of-age stories for the price of 1. Finn's journey is one of coping or not coping with the trauma he faced 4 years ago. And it really doesn't help that the boy who is pining for Gwen's affection is the younger brother of one of the Grabber's victims. His name was Robin. You might remember him. He was one of Finn's only friends. He was the boy who not only stood up for Finn, he taught Finn how to fight and stand up to the Grabber. Well, the phone still rings, but Finn, not unlike his father, tries to drown out the noise, not with alcohol, but with weed. Meanwhile, Gwen is also coping, but with her own struggles. Remember, she has dreams or visions. These visions have become more profuse, more detailed, more real. She doesn't want to drown them out. She doesn't necessarily want them either. She wants to know why they're happening, why they involve her deceased mom, and what's up at Alpine Lake, and why is the dead Grabber involved. Well, once they get to Alpine Lake, the situation goes from bad to worse, much worse. The Grabber has moved on from the corporeal world to the world of dreams. He has invaded Gwen's nightmares and exacts physical torture on her. The grabber wants Finn to suffer. He strikes where he knows Finn is most vulnerable. That's Gwen. Finn is afraid he can't protect Gwen, and at this point, Finn can't even protect himself. The grabber becomes a personification of evil for the siblings. As in the first movie, religion plays a part here. There is a spirituality to Gwen, and this comes from her mother. The story does take place at a Christian camp, yet Black Phone and Black Phone 2, it's not a story about angels and demons. They are stories of belief, Black Phone and Black Phone 2, that is. But it's not important whether you or I believe, but it is important that Gwen believes. It is the character's guide and strength. And that's what I believed. While spiritual in its nature, Black Phone 2 is for sure not a faith-based movie. Mason Thames and Madeline McGraw are the movie's heart and soul. It has been amazing to watch Mason Thames mature as an actor. He's had quite a year. Black Phone 2, he expands his talent. Finn is in a very different place than he was in the first movie. He's emotionally broken. It's not easy to convey, but Thames pulls it off in such a way. Sympathetic, but he's never a jerk, never unlikable. You root for him just like Gwen does. The character Finn at his core is a good person. You want him to overcome adversity. You don't want him to become corrupted by his trauma. The same goes for Gwen. Look, she's already a bit salty, which gives her a great edge. Madeline McGraw shows her star quality is on the rise. She makes Gwen the glue that holds Finn together. Well, Ethan Hawke is back grabbing attention. I really love how he is so into playing this character. This character is so evil and vile. And he's not just playing the villain here. He's a monster, and a scary one in that. I'll tell you, screw that clown. Well, enough cannot be said about Scott Derrickson's direction. He plays with film formats. Look, I know this movie was digitally shot, so a lot of it was done in post. So the main movie takes place in 1982. Derrickson and company make the movie look as if it were filmed in 1982. But then he does something frightfully fun. Whenever Gwen falls asleep and falls into her dreams, the movie looks grainy, like it was shot in the 70s. It has this very Texas Chainsaw Massacre feel. He even throws in a few film burns for effect, and it works. He brought me into a different world. It was a great visual cue, telling you, the moviegoer, and me, we're no longer in the real world anymore. And Derrickson, along with our editor, Louise Ford, kept the pacing taut. Black Phone 2 never stayed on the line too long. The screenplay, co-written with C. Robert Cargill, continued to develop characters and themes without rehashing the story. That's pretty impressive for a horror sequel. And Black Phone 2 is a rare horror movie sequel that is equally as good as the original, and in some cases, I'd say better. It is darker, it's more brutal, it is thematically rich, and it has well-written characters, and above all, it delivers scares. I mean, it is a horror movie after all. I give Black Phone 2 the high five. It gets 5 stars from me. And before I go and sign off, here's some Black Phone 2 trivia for you. The actor who plays the character Ernesto, his name is Miguel Mora. He is the character I mentioned earlier in this review. He's the one pining for Gwen. Well, as I mentioned, Ernesto is the younger brother of a character from the first movie. I mentioned his name, Robin. Well, do you know who played Robin? Miguel Mora. That's right, Miguel Mora was Robin in the first Black Phone. How awesome is that? That is great trivia. So cool. I found that out after watching Black Phone 2. Made me love the movie even more. I hope you love the Black Phone 2 as much as I did. Please let me know what you thought of Black Phone 2. What have you thought about the both movies? I think they're excellent horror movies. In fact, I was rewatching the first movie, and the first movie, I'll be honest, I remember really liking it. I gave it a really good review, a very solid review. Hadn't seen it in many years. And it's one of those movies that you remember really liking, and you always had good things to say about it. And then you go ahead and rewatch it, and as you're rewatching it, you remember why you liked it, because it's really damn good. Black Phone 2 is really is equally as good. And like I said, if not better, love to know your thoughts. Please leave them in the comments below. I'd appreciate you liking, subscribing, and writing. I want to know. I'll write you back. I do appreciate you tuning into the Cinescope. I'll have more reviews in the days and weeks ahead. And also, I'm going to have a special bonus to this Black Phone 2 review in the upcoming, I'm hoping, days. So stay tuned for that. Can't tell you what it is. It's going to be an awesome surprise. I think a very awesome surprise. But thank you so much again for tuning in. Can't wait to hear from you. Pick up that phone or don't pick up that phone. You never know who might be on the other line. Thank you again. See you at the movies.